because we only have a handful of people in here, but we're just gonna go ahead and record it, and everybody else, I'm gonna send it out to them to watch later because this is super exciting what we have here. Doug's, we're sitting next to each other, so we can't both talk at once, or else we're gonna hear an echo. But this tool that you're about to find out a little bit more about is really going to save you some time, and it's going to give you access to information you need 24/7. So if you are in the middle of doing something and it's midnight and you can't reach me, like BrokerBot is still here. And it could do way more than you might even think. So I'm going to mute myself and let Doug start sharing. Sorry. Here we go.
All right, guys. Okay. I really appreciate you guys taking the time because this is a free tool and it's a huge kind of investment in yourself, just taking a few minutes to learn a little bit about it. So first, I want you guys to make sure that you can get into this tool, right? So we are partnering with a company called BrokerBot, and because we are now a member of the Catalyst Partners infrastructure with KWCP and KW Legacy, we are calling this Catalyst Bot. Okay, so Catalyst Bot is what you'll see kind of from just a branding point of view. Kirsten is going to throw here. You just pasted that again. Okay, so please check the chat box just on how to log in. But the long and short of it is the best way to do it is to just go into your email and search for the word BrokerBot, all one word, BrokerBot. And then that will hopefully, I think it's support@BrokerBot, will give you an invitation. Okay. If you can't find that, you can also just go to brokerbot.ai and you can kind of log yourself in because you already have an account with your KW email. And it's just a matter of logging in that first time. You authenticate with your phone number. That's how we know that you are who you are. And then that gives you access to all the goodies, right? Because we don't want random people off the street to be able to use this and get access to our documents and also our sort of internal policies and office information and stuff. Quick point of clarification. Right now, this is just for Legacy. This is just for you guys, okay? So we are kind of the beta testers for this really cool software
Trying to
before
get
it
real
rolls out.
comfy with Gemini.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
And I
Yeah. All right. So this is the big, this is the rollout, so to speak. We are perfecting it. We are fine tuning it. And then it's going to go to basically the rest of the KWCP world. So if you happen to talk with some of your MoCo friends or somebody else, maybe don't brag about this too much because they can't use it yet. But I'm getting all the DC and Montgomery County stuff up and running as well. So hopefully in the coming months, this will be something we can all, share and talk to each other about and all learn from each other. So a little bit of participation from you guys. Can you just let me know if you have logged on before or if you can try to go to brokerbot.ai now and see if you can get this thing going. All right, is anybody able to log in? There's at least a couple of people that I know are here with us.
Maybe they can give a thumbs up when you log in.
That would be perfect. Oh, okay. Kirsten's showing us how to get
I'm trying now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dallas. Yeah, so I guess let me know first if you have the email from BrokerBot. So that would be helpful.
I can log in.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're going to want to, once you're logged in, make sure you kind of verify your phone number. And then the third piece is to go to the hotline and you can add that phone number kind of to your contacts, right? So there's a few ways that you can play with this. So most of the time, I'm like old school when I'm doing something important. I need like a big screen to do it. That's very much elder millennial, zillennial, Gen X stuff. Like phone, small screen is for certain things, big screen is for certain things. It is optimized to use on your phone. I'm just more comfortable on my laptop. Um, So that's how I kind of play with it. But if you're in your car, you can call BrokerBot, you can text BrokerBot, you can take a picture of something and send it to BrokerBot and ask about it. Um, the guy who did the trainings for us was like, I was at a house and a client is like, "Oh, what kind of a tree is that?" He's like, "I don't know," but he took a picture and sent it to BrokerBot. And it's like, "Oh, this is a, ficus." Like, all right, way to kind of look cool in front of your clients, right? Um, so it can do some pretty helpful stuff. And especially like Kirsten was saying, if it's midnight and you're in your bed and you don't have your laptop on you, you can just like text, like, what is the office phone number again? Or, just have a conversation like, tell me about what happens if the property underappraises. What are the next steps? Like it should kind of know everything. Um, as it pertains to your practice, right? So what differentiates this from um, ChatGPT or Gemini or any of those guys is A, this is a real estate focused medium, so it's very much for us, and B, it's curated with all the stuff that I know that you will need, right? So it has not only KW stuff and KW legacy, office specific policies and identification materials. I've also included all the different contracts that you're going to need, as well as FAQs about it and sort of what's required and what's not, and different checklists for compliance. So you should be able to basically, have a really good understanding. A, what do you need if I'm at a preliminary stage? Like, hey, what documents should I bring to my listing appointment? What do I need in Howard County as opposed to Baltimore County? It should be able to give you some feedback on that stuff. And then when you get to the sort of contract phase, before you upload it to command, maybe pop it into BrokerBot and just say, hey, is this packet complete or can you check this for compliance? And should be able to give you kind of a checklist and just highlight for you what you might need to still think about. So I'll run some kind of demos in the meantime, but hopefully this is a tool that you guys will be able to use and have some fun with. Okay, I see that Pam is in. Dallas, you said that you were able to log in at least.
Share your screen
Yes,
and
I'm
then
Yep,
in.
I'm gonna start doing that.
be able to get in soon.
Yep, okay, let me get. All right, cool. We are up and running. You guys are pros.
Mine say it don't recognize my email though.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, mine say it doesn't recognize my email.
So recognize your email. Let me check what email we have for you. 'Cause some people have like 12 emails and we just kind of I just picked the kind of one that's at the top um, of the command list. Okay. Okay. Are you dcw.clark@gmail.com?
Yeah, that would be why I use my Keller Williams email. Let me try that
Okay.
too.
All right. Try DCW and let me know if that works for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
All right. Let me get to share my screen now. Okay. Can you
Okay,
guys
that
see
that
what?
works.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So if you guys can see my screen, if you go down, mine looks a little bit different than yours because I can kind of train this thing on the back end, but there is something called Hotline that you should have access to. If you click there, this is the phone number for the hotline, 410-632-8600. Okay, lock that into your phone. You can do a lot of stuff like that. You can basically converse with it as if it were a person. So you should be able to, If you're in your car, you can practice different dialogues or objection handlers or just kind of talk strategy about things, right? Um, Also, if you want to text it pictures of documents, if someone sends you, a contract and you have it on your phone, you can upload it that way, right? So you can do a lot kind of through texting. So definitely lock in 410-632-8600. Maybe I'll ask Kirsten to throw that number in the chat as well, so you guys have that handy.
Yep, say it again for me so I can.
410-632-8600. Okay. And here's where, when you kind of log in, you get sort of a welcome screen, right? And this looks not dissimilar to any of the other chat bots you may have used, right? So if it's ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, um, they're going to track your chats over on the left side, and you have just basically a blank canvas to kind of ask it whatever you want. So they also build in just kind of these suggested kind of use types, right? So it can help you with your marketing. It can review your documents for you. It can do some pretty cool image generation and virtual staging, which we'll delve into a little bit. And it can also do scripts and dialogues with you, right? So I tried to kind of work through some of these things that I knew that, there's questions that I get all the time and are really easy and sometimes even embarrassing. They're like, "Oh, Doug, I know you told me your license number before, but can you give it to me again?" Or, what is the office? Because, page 11 of that contract, right? You're supposed to put our MLS ID or not our MLS ID and the broker phone number and address. And unless you kind of have a worksheet that you carry with you, you're not going to necessarily kind of know all that stuff off the top of your head. So let's just ask it. Okay, what is the office address for the brokerage? And it should know that, hey, we are Keller Williams Legacy, so that's obviously what you're asking about. So it sometimes takes a second. It'll kind of pop up and say thinking, and it walks you through how it kind of got to its findings, right? And occasionally, if you put in something really complicated, it might be thinking for a while. Um, but it's also helpful if it gives you maybe an answer you weren't expecting, or it can kind of guide the way you prompt as well. If it kind of goes down a path you weren't expecting it to, then you can kind of redirect that going forward. So that sort of stuff is pretty easy. What is the broker license number for Maryland? No, I was getting into a fight. There we go. I was getting into a fight with BrokerBot earlier this morning. So here's the other thing, guys. Occasionally, it's going to do something funky, or if I didn't train it properly or put in something weird, then it can get confused, right? But the whole point of this is, as we kind of all work on this together, it's only going to get smarter and smarter, and it helps us to fine tune it in the background, right? So let's say it gave a wrong answer for something. You could say, no, stupid AI, it's actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would log that as a training moment that I can go in the background and kind of say, oh, yeah, you're right. Or then it lets me kind of fix it in the background. So it's not happening a ton, especially the contract stuff. It's really, really, really good at. Some of the nuts and bolts I'm still kind of perfecting in the background, but some of the basic stuff it's pretty darn good at. Okay. Um, Let me think about, all right,
You want to try something like maybe a contract question?
yeah, so let me give one quick example that I think is a really good use case for this. So let me give, all right, this is what I think AI is good for, you guys. I have a document called CC&Rs. Do you guys know what this is? If you ever have an HOA, either on the listing side or on the buyer side, they have to get what's called a resale package. And this freaking document is long. Okay, so this is a short one. This is 51 pages,
It is a short one.
but it's of just
Long.
legal garbage and deeds, and it's just land records and title and surveys and budgets and really kind of stressful stuff. And there are buyers that will look at us and say, "Hey, what do I need to know about this?" So I'm going to basically, frame a question in that way. What should my buyer watch out for in this community? Okay. This is going to take a minute, guys, so I'm going to kind of keep talking. So this gives you a sense, it's not going to just pop this out, but this is also a really hard document, A, for human eyes to look at, but you need to make sure you're using a really robust AI system as well, because those land records are not exactly searchable, right? This uses something called computer vision, where it's meant to be able to kind of look at it as if it were a human. Um, so, we'll go into this after it's kind of done its thinking, but
Mhm.
A, it's going to walk through really everything that the buyer is going to care about. And at the end, it's going to give you kind of a hot list of things that the buyer might actually care about, right? So this is a really easy way for you to look really smart, right? And provide significant value without having to spend any time or really do anything, right? So if you just copy and paste this or copy and paste a portion of this over to your buyer, you're providing a tremendous resource, and you didn't have to do anything, which is pretty cool. Next steps for your buyer.
Awesome.
This is great. Yeah.
Do you want to ask for questions before we?
Yeah, let me just so to go through what the actual fees are. It goes, you guys may not know this, but there was a big law that was passed that now HOAs and condos need to have this reserve fund in place. So this will highlight if there's going to be, additional fees that have been identified. It talks about what they need approval for. There's a review fee potentially, maximum of 2 dogs per home. That's actually a little bit unusual. That's something that, is really important to highlight. If they have 3 dogs, this may not be a house for them, right? And this is a hard thing to kind of jump into. So, um, I'll leave you guys to look through this sort of thing, but I mean, how fast was that relative to, how long this process would take if you're really trying to pour through it? So, always kind of trust but verify, but this is a pretty cool use case that, this is what I think AI is for, to save yourself some time. All right. Are there any questions so far before I keep giving random examples of things?
All right. How about I'm excited
Are
to
you,
see this, like just some reactions.
are you still muted? I think you're still muted.
Oh,
Or maybe you're
he's trying to
okay,
say
yeah.
something.
All right. Is anybody excited? Can I get a thumbs up or like a party, like some balloons emojis or something? All right.
I am excited
Okay,
about it.
cool. All right, let me give you something else to be excited about. I am going to start a new chat real quick, and I'm going to steal a contract that somebody just sent to somebody else just to kind of look at. Okay. So this is a contract that was recently ratified, but this person came over to our brokerage with this contract in hand, like, hey, I want to make sure that I'm checking all the compliance boxes for legacy, right? So you could click this preliminary contract review button. I'm just going to say, you know, do I need anything else for compliance? Okay, so it's not the most sophisticated prompt, but hopefully it at least knows to go to our compliance checklists, right? It's going to review for kind of internal consistency to make sure that um, all the addenda are there, and it's going to also highlight, in addition to the compliance stuff, just any kind of red flags that you need to understand, as a realtor in this situation. So maybe I should figure out if we are the buyer or the seller in this case. All right, so you can see it's thinking about some stuff.
No, I can see you're the buyer.
Okay. So I'm just consulting the contract to make sure that I know what it is.
We are the buyer. So
We're the buyer. Okay, perfect.
it already figured that out.
Well, I'm sure that it had, but I want to make sure that it was right.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought it figured it out. Okay. Okay. Required documents. Already in package. Check, check, checks. This is great. So they have the contract. They have the buyer's request for compensation. They're asking for 2% in this case. Inspections led, conventional financing. Okay. They flagged here, right, because it's not included, that you need to have the buyer agency agreement. So it's not saying that's necessarily wrong, but hey, Taylor Legacy cannot process your commission without this document. So please make sure that you check it. We also need our affiliated business arrangement disclosure.
Mhm.
But when he wrote this, he was at a different brokerage. So I think that's fine in that case. And we're also missing the Bright MLS consumer disclosures. Remember, guys, there's a big NAR lawsuit. And basically, every time you have a real estate client, buyer, or seller, you need to have the appropriate MLS disclosure. So, three things that we know that we do need to make sure that you get paid and there isn't aren't any delays. And then, hey, next steps. Let's go through. So it's scheduled March 3rd. Make sure those compliance documents are processed, completed well in advance. There's no delays in commission processing. So it told you pretty succinctly you're missing these three documents in order to get paid. Everything else looks good.
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty easy peasy. All right. Are there any, maybe Kirsten, you can help me come up with a
Okay.
contract question?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a kind of question that agents ask me. And
Okay.
we're just gonna ask BrokerBot something that was asked recently.
Okay.
Okay, so an agent recently asked me, how much should my earnest money deposit be?
Ooh. So I don't know that I've specifically trained it in this, so we're going to find out.
Let's find out.
And this is the sort of thing, guys, that we can kind of curate to make it as helpful
Mhm.
as we can for you guys, right? So technically there's no kind of right or wrong answer, right? But it's we can still tell you kind of best practices and give recommendations based on kind of minimizing your risk and still making it appealing for the seller, right? So I don't know what it's going to find in the knowledge base, but this is a good sign. So it's looking to make sure, hey, did Doug and Kirsten tell me this answer? If not, can I sort of infer and still give good advice, right? Okay. And I'm also going to try to pull up in the background some examples of some,
Like a form and explaining a paragraph.
okay, yeah,
That would be really helpful.
okay, because we can even, so
Yeah.
in that last chat, I had,
Oh, there isn't a single, okay. Yeah, this is great.
yeah, most
This is
transactions
great.
between 1% and 2%.
Yeah,
In very competitive markets, maybe go a little bit higher.
yep. Love this. Okay. How about like a contract paragraph and
Okay,
like explain what this means kind of thing?
yeah, so we can pull up, let's see, let's go back to the previous chat where I sent it the contract,
Mhm.
right? So, I don't know, what would be interesting? I assume it had like a conventional financing addendum. So, tell me what would have happened if the appraisal came in under the purchase price. I'll just say it came in low, right? Because we don't need to get all fancy. Oh, so it's already telling us like, hey,
So what happens?
because guess what? I have trouble explaining the appraisal contingency. in real life, when people ask me about it, it like takes me a half hour to kind of explain it. Like, well, the lender is responsible for protecting their asset, and they don't want to lend more than what it's owed.
Yeah.
So they kind of
Yeah.
so, and then it can give you a really case by case situation,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
and it decided like, here, wouldn't it be helpful if I gave you a real world example? Purchase price was 240. If it came in at 230,
Mm-hmm.
there's a $10,000
Mm-hmm.
difference. We, either work with the seller or you proceed anyway. I mean, this is pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a really good one.
yeah. So like, what's another example of a
Maybe somebody here
challenging?
can think of something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can anybody want to come up with a contracts question that we can challenge it with? Nobody has any contracts question. Man, Kirsten, I know does a good job with trainings, but
I know somebody has a contract question.
that's the thing. This could just be a little broker chat. If you guys have questions, we'll
Yeah, there you go.
challenge BrokerBot and then I can
And then you have the actual broker.
exactly.
Okay, let's just ask it to explain some things in a contract that people run into, if nobody has any ideas.
Okay. Explain some things.
Okay, okay, on the financing thing,
Uh,
what should I put for, what is a lender required repair?
okay, great.
Yep.
I start a new chat because it should know.
Mhm.
Um, there's a blank in the financing contingency about lender required repairs. What does that mean? And what should I put there?
Love that. Jeanette put something in the chat too.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, Jeanette, I will get to your question. Okay, so they're making it clear lender required repairs. This pops up when the lender appraises the property. They may see specific things. And I love the examples they're providing actually. Safety issues like railings pop up or like tripping hazards, peeling paint, missing railings. Perfect. This is
That's exactly what
exactly the examples that I would give, right? Okay, so it popped in. It seemed to jump into G car for this one. But I think the conventional financing, and again, this is it's more confusing because Doug has access to Maryland, Pennsylvania, DC, and all these forms, right? So for you, like depending on where you're licensed, if you're only Maryland, you'll only be looking at Maryland forms. So I can sort of specify like, hey, give me the Maryland, Baltimore County forms instead. What should you put in the blank? Okay, you can say $500. Seller agrees to pay up to X. If in doubt, use a reasonable number. $500 to $1,000 is common. I probably wouldn't leave it blank, but technically you can leave it blank. Yeah. Okay.
I would go even a little lower than that, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 500. Well, it depends. Yeah, if it's super competitive, you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm really worried about,
Right,
losing a multiple offer situation.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so Jeanette has her question too.
oh yes, I'm so sorry.
Let's
I've
do that.
already
Let's do
forgotten
that.
what that is. Oh, because it was $2,000 instead of $2,500, basically. The buyer has what the buyer has, right? I would never say, you can't make an offer if you don't have 1% of the purchase price. Um, how I explain it, if I'm a listing agent and I see somebody putting less than 1%, it slightly flags to me that the buyer is not taking the offer that seriously, if they're really, really trying to kind of have as little skin in the game as possible. Um, so it can be kind of an orange flag or a very gentle red flag for a seller, but it's not a hard and fast rule at all. I mean, I think technically it could be $0 or $1 and it's still legal.
You know what I was going to say is quite often, I'm just talking to your
Yeah.
computer. If a buyer is getting a grant, then
hmm
typically the minimum EMD is $1,000.
Okay.
But a lot of times we won't want to go higher than that because if they put too much EMD down, they actually don't get all their grant money.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if I had something lower, I personally as an agent probably would reach out to the listing agent and
Just explain.
just explain like
Yeah.
why the EMD is so low.
Right. So it's never a hard and fast rule. A lot of it is just about putting forth a good faith offer that has as few kind of flags in it as possible so you can just kind of get the thing rolling. So that's why, and honestly, I when I was really young and kind of dumb, I would think, oh, it's a way to really differentiate myself. I'm going to put in a huge EMD and really kind of be strong. And the EMD is like on the scale of all the things that the seller cares about, it's tiny, right? And unfortunately, my job as a broker is about fighting over EMDs like constantly. So I know that people can just be jerks and kind of hang up EMD. So I like keeping it low without kind of alarming the seller. So, but it is what it is. If they don't have 1%,
They don't have
they don't have
1%.
1%. That doesn't mean you can't buy a house, right? It's just another variable that the seller needs to look at.
Thanks, Jeanette.
Yeah, great question. Um, let me,
If anybody else has one, hop off a mute and let's hear
yeah,
it.
absolutely. So I just had somebody texted me. Sorry, I'm going into stuff
Oh,
that I
you
probably
got
should.
this, Doug. Are you still an agent?
Oh yeah,
Text.
I just got that. Yeah.
I think I got that one. I wonder if it's the same phone number.
Oh, actually, I already
I've
did.
already marked it as spam.
Okay, great.
Mine, that's what I do. Sure if it
Okay.
works.
So an agent this morning. Oh, this one's too hard. I don't want to do this. So I think it,
that is.
yeah. So I think it can do multiple things. I'm trying to, I want to get rid of one of those. Go away. X. I'm trying again. All right. So an agent texted me this morning because they just started playing with it. So they and a partner bought this house and they want to flip it, but they want to know what it would look like if they did certain like repairs or improvements, right? So I kind of started playing with this, please remove the clutter in the yard and also remove the shrubs and trees in front of the house. Okay. We're going to see what it does.
All right.
Yeah. Um, so the other cool thing about this software is that it's constantly kind of being improved and it uses all the different AI platforms for different functions, right? So for image manipulation, Gemini has this nano banana thing that's iterating and getting better every day. So as that gets better, this gets better as well, right? Now saying, okay, let's see. So this is the photo that I put in. Hey, that's pretty damn cool.
That looks, what a difference, huh? Isn't that cool? You saw how long that took too.
Right. So it was 10 seconds.
Uh-huh.
So just to now, I'll warn you kind of with any AI tool that I've ever used, especially with image stuff, as you go down and keep like change this, then change this, then change this. It's like scanning a scan of a scan of a scan. It eventually kind of explodes. But let's keep playing with it.
Jeanette asked in the chat, can you do that with the inside of a house?
The answer is yes. Let's say add a mulch bed with black mulch in front of the house where the shrubs were. Okay. Yeah, does anybody have any like listing photos or something that they want to share with me and then we can play with them in real time? That would be exciting. I can show you guys some stuff that I've done. Perfect. Here's some mulch.
Let's see the mulch.
Okay, so we'll go through. So this is number one. This is number two. And then it's some lovely mulch.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So the answer is yes. You can do it with inside stuff as well. So this is what, in the biz, we refer to it as virtual staging, right? And in fact, they just changed it. They just updated and added the functionality where if you had like 3 empty rooms in a house, you can upload all three and say, hey, please stage these all with, modern furniture, cool color tones with a consistent aesthetic. And it should kind of pop all that stuff in there. Let me see.
Not an interior house photo.
I don't know. Let me find one.
I have a question. And
Yes, go
if it's
ahead.
too
What's your
long to
question?
type, so I'll get wordy. Um, if you're looking at a house that's for sale for a client,
Mhm.
and when you go into the pictures, the rooms are like full of clutter. Could you take that for your own use and say delete the clutter so you can see what the rooms look like?
Um, yes, I would think so. If it's just literally to kind of play with it for your own, um, yeah, for your own kind of personal review. I mean, you don't have permission to then post that anywhere. You can't, um, manipulate anybody else's listing. But yeah, I mean, you could absolutely say, and that's very much something that I did for
So
a
you're wanting
previous
to show it
listing.
to your client, what it would look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because matter of fact, the client that I have asked me about a house. When I looked at the pictures, every room was clutter like up to the ceiling almost. So I know they won't even go to look at it, but if I can show them this is what it would look like empty, you know, but not show, just show him paper copy, but not go anywhere.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Let me.
I can give you the address.
Well, hold on. I'll give you kind of an example. So this is a listing that I had just a couple months ago. It's not letting me bring up the big picture. Let me say, please help me declutter this room. Please remove all furniture and personal belongings. I like to, maybe this is overkill, but I've had enough AI tools kind of screw things up. So I'll say things like, please preserve window and wall locations. Please leave the curtains up. Okay. So this is a dining room, and this was a woman who had lived in her house for 35 years, and her husband died, and it's just full of stuff, right? But she needed to get out. So it was months and months and months of her tidying, but it still wasn't really ready by the time I wanted to take pictures. So I'm like, all right, let's just get the thing photographed. But for the really cluttered rooms, I did go in and remove stuff, and I would make it really clear on the listing, like, okay, here's all the cluttered images, and here's what it would look like if it were empty, right? So the other thing is we need to be really careful, guys. Bright has their own policy where you really do need to disclose, this image has been digitally modified because we don't want to be kind of misrepresenting things. But let me give you the 2 rooms. All right, and I just did this live. I hope it did it right. So this is the cluttered room. This is everything removed. I mean, holy crap, guys.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for like the round of applause. That's
I know, right?
perfect.
I know, right?
And in fact, when I did it a month ago, it wasn't this good. It had screwed up, like this part of the curtain wasn't visible and it kind of just deleted it. But here it like knew to bring it off to the side. It left the light fixture. You know, I guess it could have removed that as well. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
awesome, guys.
Awesome.
Like truly took me 10 seconds to do. So I did that for all the main rooms, right? So I did that, 5 times. It took 1 minute each time. So for 5 minutes of work, I was able to provide a lot of value to my listing and for people looking at it and say, oh, I could picture my stuff in there now.
Yeah.
Now let's try to,
Oh, can we add furniture to it now?
let's try.
Let's do it.
Okay, I like to give it positive feedback. I'd like to stage it as a modern dining room. All right, what else do I need? Maybe like, please also add a buffet table against the wall. I don't know what that's going to do, or even what a buffet table is, but it seems like something that's in a dining room, right?
That is asking how to put a picture into it after it shows.
Okay.
So I guess we just need to explain how to upload something.
Yep. I want to see what it thought. Temporary chairs, modern buffet table. Okay, let's see what it did. Okay. Not terrible. Probably a little too modern.
Yeah.
But I told it to make it modern.
Yeah.
You know,
facing wrong.
I know. Okay. Now, this is probably a mistake to go in this deep, but let's see. Can you rotate the table and chairs 180 degrees? Is that the right number of degrees? Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
No?
Right? When that just
90? Oh, yeah, 90 is the correct. Thank you. Not a math guy.
Had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, I'm like, it's definitely not 360. I know that would be wrong. The table now runs parallel to the window instead of perpendicular, creating a different flow. Let's see. That didn't do jack. Okay, well. Okay, so it gets a little messy if you do it over and over. Okay, so the question was, how do you kind of upload things? So it's pretty easy. The way I do it, honestly, is, I have my just
Yeah, we can't see.
yeah. So I just have my Windows Explorer and I have a file here where I literally have been dragging and dropping into it. So if you have a document, you can easily do that. You can also hit this plus button. So here it says add attachments. So let me go into a new chat before I add attachments.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's letting you see it now when I'm in it all. You see what I'm doing? Okay, you can see stuff. Okay. What? Yeah. It's this one and this one and this one. Let's see. What do I want to add? What would be a fun one? Please declutter this room. Remove furniture and personal belongings. Oh, that's very wrong. Please retain structure of walls, windows, etc. Okay. So in the meantime, while that's kind of thinking about it, I just wanted to show you it has this practice scripts and objection handlers.
Yeah.
So I would help. Okay. I just held an open house and have a few people that I need to call. Can you help me with a script to call them? See if they would be willing to work with me. Great, I can help you practice those follow-up calls. Ooh, how challenging do you want this to be? Easy, medium, hard, or expert? Let's do medium, guys. That seems like the right answer for this. Okay, perfect. I'll be Melissa, one of the attendees. Make your call. I'll answer as Melissa. Hey, Melissa. Well, actually, I should get somebody else to type something into the chat for how they would like to greet Melissa. All right, how has Kirsten taught you how to reach out to people besides reach out quickly and often? So I'll just throw in like, hey, hi, Melissa. I'm Doug. It was nice to meet you yesterday at the open house. Can I ask if you are represented by an agent already? No, not currently. Just been going to a few open houses of my own to get a feel of what's going out there. That's a great idea to look around. I don't know.
Jeanette says, "Hi, Melissa. We met at the open house last week. What did you think about the house?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about the house yesterday? A lot of good features, love the backyard. I'm just comparing different layouts. Not sure if this particular one is the one, though. It's hard to decide. It sure is. I know the feeling, Melissa. Would it be helpful if I set you up with a automated search that would let you know when great listings come on the market? No obligation on your part. Actually, that'd be pretty useful. So you get the point. I'm not going to go through this exercise forever, but and I would urge you to kind of challenge yourself, right? And you know, when you set it on easy mode, it still helps you think about the possible questions that you're going to ask. So, you know, if you just have a few minutes, if you know, when you're time blocking things like lead gen or professional development, this is a great way to kind of just dive into some, especially if there are, okay, I have my sphere that I want to reach out to, or if I have open house I'm following up on, or you know, whatever use case makes the most sense for you, just dive into that and sort of like get razor sharp with those specific skills as opposed to kind of making it super generic. So, you know, hopefully that'll be a useful tool. Um, what else, guys? It can do a lot of cool stuff, probably um, more than I've set forth here. I mean, you can also kind of make it your own personal kind of coach, like, hey, I'm overwhelmed today. I have XYZ to do. Can you help me time block my day? Or which task do you represent or recommend that I tackle first? I mean, you can kind of make it your kind of life coach. Now, be careful. Doug can see what you are typing in the background. Other agents cannot. I need to be able to see it for like quality control purposes, make sure that it's not screwing up or giving bad information. Um, you know, I can search with the chats and say, hey, what are the topics that agents are asking about most so that we can set up trainings that might be useful. So I can kind of see what's going on in the background. So I've heard, you know, somebody might spark a romantic relationship with their AI bot. Like maybe not in your work free AI chat box that we are providing because Doug will get some popcorn out and read through that stuff. So be careful. All right. What do you guys think? Do you think this would be
Yeah,
useful?
come off the chat. Come off the chat. Tell us what you think. I mean, come off of mute is what I meant to say. Come
Yes.
off of mute, please. Let us know what you think.
Okay, I put in the chat, but I think this was like extraordinary. I mean, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not real
Awesome.
good on the computers, but this, or what to say to people, even though some people say I talk too much, this will get to the point without extra words.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And it really is. And like on my phone, like text messaging is how I communicate. And if that's you just type in like any of these questions and it can give you this feedback, right? I mean, I may even start, and I've done this with some folks. If you ask me a question, I want to answer you, but I also want to train myself to use BrokerBot more and train you to use BrokerBots. There are times where I'll throw in a group chat with you and BrokerBot and just kind of see what BrokerBot says first, and then I can sort of amend or, just agree or say, actually, that was wrong, let me look into that sort of thing. Um, I think part of the idea is for us to become a little bit more sort of reflexively AI. Like when we have questions like, oh, I have this tool, it's not perfect. Like you still have access to Kirsten, you still have access to Doug. Like you have remarkable tools and experience that you can draw from. And some of it is like, hey, I don't really want to bother Doug about X, so you can just do that here. Or just so you can like feel like you're as informed as you can be before you
Mm-hmm.
tackle like it's just like an entry level resource that's going to hopefully knock out 80% of your questions or concerns, right? So um, we're really excited and it's only going to get better as it's used more. So um, just really urge you to jump in and use it a little bit. And if it does something wacky, like shoot me a message or like I can jump into your chat and see if I can help you troubleshoot it. I have a really good relationship with the tech support over at BrokerBot. So like if something's broken, they go and fix it for me. It's a really good setup that we have.
Could it find, like, I know in different classes they say you should have a list of maybe like contractors and stuff. If you gave it an area and asked for contractors' names, would that be able to do stuff like that?
Probably not. So that's kind of one of the things that I can try, but what I expect is that that's one of the things that it expressly doesn't do
Okay.
because we want it to be only give answers based on verifiable sources, right? So when we ask it a contract question, it's only allowed to go to the knowledge base that I have provisioned or like the MAR website or GBBR. Like there's certain websites that we have whitelisted where it's allowed to go. That keeps it from getting legal advice from Yahoo Answers or Reddit or these
Oh,
other places, right? So in that way, since we haven't provisioned that sort of thing, and honestly, other chatbots probably will. Like you can go to Gemini, which is owned by Google, which has Google reviews, right? Like there are
Mm-hmm.
places where you can get that stuff, but because all of the like sources that it would pull from are inherently kind of based on opinion and not really
Mm-hmm.
verifiable or real estate
oh, okay.
related, it probably won't do that. But that's a good question. Hmm. Anything else, friends? You guys are our core team, like the coaching team I'm most excited about to get your hands on this because I know you have questions. I know you're boots on the ground. You're actually engaging in real estate more than everybody else, right? Like there are a lot of people that will like it because it's a toy, but they don't really have real life applications. So whether it's a homework assignment that Kirsten gives you, or you're just doing a CMA and you want to come up with a different way to communicate that to your client or work through scripts. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic this will be a cool tool. Cool tool. All right. Any final thoughts, Kirsten?
I was late in getting into the program, but um I saw when I came in you had like a contract.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a contract, I would put it in the same way where it says ask questions and then ask the program if I filled in everything, or how did that work?
Yep, exactly. So
Okay.
I'll run that demo again real quick. So I'm dragging and dropping a contract for
Okay.
4210 Massachusetts. Did I miss anything for compliance? Here
Oh,
we go,
okay.
misspellings and all.
Yes.
And here's where it gets really nitty gritty and why it's for you guys in particular, right? I don't care what Cummings and Co., what they require, right? Like this is going to give you what Keller Williams legacy requires in order for you to get paid. Okay, so it should be able to answer really specific questions as what's required from Maryland Association of Realtors, what's required per Keller Williams legacy policy, and also kind of best practices for how to get paid in a timely manner. So, I mean, the last time when I did it 20 minutes ago, it ended with like, oh, make sure you upload everything in a timely manner so that we have time to review it. So you don't kind of get a red flag at the 11th hour and it delays you getting paid, right? So this contract is already as flagged. You need the buyer tenancies. You need the brokerage agreements. We were representing buyers. This package didn't include this. They're just making sure that we have it. Consumer notice, MLS disclosure form, affiliated business disclosure. It flagged all those based on our personal checklist that are all required in order for you to get paid.
But remember, you don't send those with an offer. Like when you're writing an offer, you should not send those.
That's correct. Yes. So so in this context, it was I have a fully executed offer.
Yeah.
What do I need to get paid? So these things wouldn't be a part of that offer, which is why they're not here, but they're flagging it like, oh, and this is what it's called in command. When you go into documents and you're trying to upload stuff, the consultation phase requires A, B, C, D. Those aren't in this package, so just make sure that you have those things. But when it comes to the offer, the under contract, good to go. Check, 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 check. Right? So you have to look at it and make sure that you understand what it's saying, but you know, it's pretty good at finding stuff. And it'll even flag if you have a seller and you're receiving a whole bunch of offers, just put in each offer and say, hey, what do are there any red flags that the seller needs to think about?
Oh,
It'll
okay.
flag if timelines are too tight. It'll flag if a box was checked, but that addendum wasn't actually uploaded, right? It'll flag, any unusual terms. So it's just really good at getting your brain going and making you then sound really smart in front of your clients when you can say, hey, this offer looks good. One thing to think about, just so you're aware, this timeline's really tight. So we need to make sure that we're on it. We need to make sure we get this over to the title company immediately. Um, all that sort of stuff.
Is this only for Maryland, or can you do Pennsylvania documents?
That's a great question. We can, in fact, do Pennsylvania for you, Jeanette. We sure can. I just wrapped up so we did Maryland first. I just finished DC yesterday, getting the documents provisioned, and Pennsylvania is next on my list, so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Kirsten, any final
No.
parting words?
Thanks for
Yeah, you can do yours. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks.
Oh, shoot. See, I don't know why.
You get your guy.
I need to do a lot. Getting there.
Okay, Doug and I are next to each other, so we can't both talk at the same time, or else it's total chaos in here. Any final questions? Isn't this exciting though? Like, this is really cool stuff. Yeah. I want to hear any thoughts.
I think this will help me tremendously to
Yeah.
use my, not like that I don't have confidence, but because
Yeah.
I haven't been active in it for a year for health reasons,
Yes.
I kind of feel like I should be better than what I am. And with this,
Yeah.
I saw this, I was like, wow, I was like extremely excited over it. And I think this
Yeah.
would be like
Yeah.
middle of the night, I can get up and play with it.
You can. Absolutely. Absolutely. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm gonna send this recording out to everybody in Legacy. As we mentioned at the beginning, it's just at Legacy right now. We are the ones testing this out. It'll go out further later, but we're starting with Legacy. Um, but play with it, and I'd love to hear some feedback as you're playing with things. We'd love to hear how it's going, anything that worked great for you. I know both Doug and I would love to hear it. So anyway, thanks for coming today, and I'll see everybody when I see you. And thanks, Doug.
Thank you guys.
Bye.